I'd like to welcome Ludvig Aberg here to the Media Center at the Valero Texas Open. Ludvig, making your third start in this event. We just get some opening thoughts entering this week.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun playing tournaments in Texas when I went to school, and it'll be a good test. The golf course is, as always, it can be pretty challenging, but looks like we're going to have some nice weather, so it'll be fun.
T14 here last year, and you just mentioned the course has some challenges. What about it? TPC San Antonio makes it so demanding?
I think obviously you need to keep the ball in front of you off the tee. Once you start to miss a little bit, it can be a little penalizing, and then you get some of these greens when they get baked and fast, and some wind coming down in the afternoon can make it a little challenging. But it's a cool place. I've played a lot of golf here. We played some college events here a couple of years ago too, so I really like it.
Awesome. We'll take some questions in the media. Start here with Chris.
Hey, Ludvig, big win at the Genesis Invitational this year. What's the value of getting a huge win just right off the bat in the season?
Yeah, obviously it's really nice. It was a really cool week to be able to win a signature event. It was my first one, so obviously to do it sort of that early in the season, it's really nice. Obviously you don't have to stress about those points early on. Obviously you always try to get as many points as you want, but it's always nice to do that early on. And obviously Torrey Pines is a really cool place that I was able to win a golf tournament at.
TPC San Antonio, you got your first start here in 2022 as an amateur when you were still in college. You played here as well last year, third start here. Just what is your level of familiarity with this golf course like relative to other courses you play on tour?
It's definitely one of them that I've played the most rounds at, the most tournaments at. So yeah, it's always so much easier coming back to a tournament that you've played before. You sort of know your way around. I knew this morning where the gym was, so like those things makes it a lot easier. And then practice round gets a lot easier. I didn't really spend any time on the golf course on Monday, so kind of came in Tuesday and was able to play 9 and 9. So it was great. It makes it a little bit easier, but come Thursday, it doesn't really change anything. We're all trying to hit to the targets, and if you don't, you're going to be punished. So that doesn't really come with experience, but it'll be cool to tee it up again here, and looking forward to it.
Obviously, you played here as an amateur, and you played your college golf here in the state of Texas. How has playing in Texas conditions shaped you as a golfer and helped you prepare for other courses on the PGA Tour?
Yeah, I think so. I went to school in Lubbock where the wind gets blowing in the spring, and it could be the same down here in San Antonio where you can get some windy days. And I love playing college golf. I thought, obviously, we don't really have anything similar in Europe and in Sweden where I grew up. So for me, it was a no-brainer to come over here for college. And now in the PGA Tour U program is so good that it's just going to make college golf better, and you get to play against the best amateurs in the world on obviously tour event golf courses too. So I loved it, and I would encourage everyone else to do the same.
You had a very strong showing in the Masters last year after playing in this event. How did playing here at Valero help you prepare for the Masters last year and make it a no-brainer start for you this year?
Yeah, I think so. I really enjoy this place. I like playing the week before. Just to sort of, now that I had 2 weeks off, I don't want to say rust. I don't like the word rust, but there's, getting into tournament mode, and the golf course really prepares you for that. It's a challenging golf course, and you need to be very specific with your targets, just like at Augusta, where you obviously need to be on the correct side of things, and this is a good way to prepare for that. But when I'm here and playing, I don't really care about Augusta. I'm trying to be where I am and try to play as well in this tournament, and then come Monday next week we'll focus on Augusta.
Okay. We'll go to the back left.
Ludvig, how would you grade your approach play so far this year, and how do you where do you stand with that aspect of your game going into this week?
Not amazing, to be honest. I felt like I was swinging it okay early on, and a little bit better now, but I still sort of have this where my face gets a little bit open at the bottom, and I can't really turn. I'd like to get the face a little bit more shut and closer so I can turn and not necessarily flip my hands if I want to hit a nice little draw. So yeah, I think you're always trying to get a little bit better at those things, but it's definitely something that's going to be important coming up in these next events, where obviously Augusta is almost like a second shot golf course where you need to position yourself on the greens, and even this week as well. So I'd like to get that a little bit sharper and be able to gain a little bit more strokes that way.
Okay, go ahead, Tim.
Ludvig, I know that you said you're thinking about this golf tournament the entire time, but a year ago at this point, you'd never played at Augusta. How are you different now? You're almost playing with house money, right? You know what you're going into. You've got a great finish behind you last year there as well as here. I mean, is there a different sense of calm as you get into this week rather than being anxious and nervous?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's more a sense of familiarity where I know that I've been in this situation before. Obviously, last year I hadn't even played a major at this point, and before I played one, I didn't really know what to expect before you actually get the chance to experience it. So that was probably the biggest change. I was still, very comfortable in my own game. I was still very comfortable in my own skin, so that didn't necessarily change. But yeah, having those sort of experiences and knowing, playing Augusta when it's windy or playing it in different sorts of conditions, experiences are always going to help you. And I feel like that was the case of last year, where I came into the tournament and I didn't really have those experiences, but now I do, which is quite nice. And try to use those to my advantage. But yeah, once again, I don't think that'll separate you too much. I think a lot of guys have played Augusta before, obviously, and it comes with experience for sure.
I think you have a hole-out bet with Joe. Is that right?
Yeah.
At this point, where do you stand on
I
that
need a
bet?
strong 3-week stretch.
Oh, all right. Well, can you talk a little about Joe and just kind of what a decision that was for you in the process and bringing in someone like him to kind of take a youngster?
Yeah, it's been great for me. Obviously, so we started in January of last year in 24, and we have just over a year under our belts together, and I feel like we've had a really good time together. Joe has kind of helped me to view golf a little bit differently, and to take sort of the misses more into account, because you always try to hit the perfect golf shot, but if you don't, then you try to make sure where those misses are. And the comfort that he gives me, and sort of when everything around you is storming, it's always nice to lean on Joe. He's a very steady, calm person, just like I am, and I would have a hard time having a caddy that's way up here when I'm not. So he definitely helps me with that.
All right, my last one. My girlfriend will be proud of this question. I can't believe I'm asking this. We know you as a fairly simple fashion guy, and suddenly there's images of you in crazy pants and all kinds of things going on. What's it like to step into that all of a sudden as someone who's, fashionable and being shown off in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I like clothes, but I also like neutral colors, I guess. But I like fashion. I'm not super into it, but I'm really excited about this line coming out next week, and I think it'll be cool. And I'm super proud to sort of be able to wear that and to represent Adidas in that way. But I'm excited about how it's going to go next week.
All right, go back
And
to
just
Chris.
last one for me. State of Texas is obviously where you went to school. It was probably your first prolonged experience away from Sweden and the comforts of home. It's a very different place than Sweden, as you can attest. Just what does this state mean to you personally in your development as a person?
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously when I went to college, I wanted to be a professional golfer, but you don't really know always how it's going to pan out. And for me, coming over here, it was a great experience to get my education as well as playing on one of the top programs in the country. So it was my home for 4 years, and stayed here for a little bit after, even when I got done with school. So it was definitely a great experience, and I can't talk nicely enough about Lubbock and Texas Tech. So yeah, I was there last weekend, just hanging out with some buddies, and fortunately watched the basketball game. It would have been cool to be here in San Antonio for the Final Four, but it is what it is. But I'm still a Texas Tech fan whenever they play on TV, and I try to watch as much as I can.
Was there any classic stories of culture shock or something early on in your time where you showed up and you're like, wow, this place is really different?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple things that kind of comes to my mind when it comes to differences between Texas and Sweden, especially Lubbock. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was great to sort of see a different side of the world that I hadn't seen before. And obviously, growing up in Sweden, that's one kind of culture. And then I came over here and I saw this, which was really cool. And I love traveling and I loved seeing that part. Yeah, I'll be back in Lubbock whenever I can next time.
All right. Thank you, guys. Ludvig, we're going to have you stay here, answer a few questions in Swedish.
Yep.
First question, what's the most important thing for a player this week at TPC San Antonio? What's the most important thing for them to do in order to have success?
Jag tror det viktigaste är att vara bra med från tee. Framförallt så fort man bommar lite från tee så blir det ganska straffande. Men det är en tuff bana. Den är utmanande på i stort sett alla delar av spelet där man behöver vara bra med för tee framförallt. Men sen också kommer en del ganska svåra griner, ganska smala griner framförallt framåt helgen skulle vi gissa, fredag eftermiddag, lördag, framförallt söndag så blir det lite hårdare, lite mer utstuds på grinerna och blir lite tuffare närspelslag, men det ska bli en kul utmaning och så fram emot.
And then first start since the players, how have you been spending your time over the last 2 weeks?
Jag har varit hemma, tog faktiskt en trip till Augusta och spelade 2 dagar, vilket var kul med min pappa. Och sen har jag bara varit hemma och tränat, hade min tränare Hasse kom över i några dagar, vi körde lite grann och sen kom min fystränare också, så vi hade lite träningsläger hemma, vilket var bra att få igång, och kommer en del viktiga tävlingar nu framöver och nästa vecka såklart och sen veckan efter där också, så att ser fram emot att komma igång med tävlingen. Det känns som att det var ett tag sedan och hoppas på lite bra golf.
And then last thing, looking ahead 1 week to Augusta, how important is this week here in San Antonio, and what can you do this week to kind of gear up for next week?
Absolut, såklart den stora tävlingen är nästa vecka, men jag försöker inte tänka så mycket på det, utan träningen som jag har gjort sista veckan har väl egentligen förberett mig mest för Augusta mer än någonting som jag gör denna veckan, utan jag tycker det viktiga när vi väl är här är att vi är här och inte i nästa vecka, utan vi försöker fortfarande spela bra golf denna veckan, vi försöker göra det så bra vi kan, och sen när vi kommer till måndag nästa vecka då skiftar vi fokus och börjar spela och träna på Augusta istället. Men denna veckan så försöker vi ta an uppgiften så bra vi kan här, och sen så när nästa vecka kommer så kör vi på det.
Well said. Thanks for your time.